Years after the third game closed out Kratos' story in the Greek pantheon, Kratos returns in the sequel/reboot God of War. With many changes from the series' norm, does Santa Monica Studios succeed in evolving the God of War series for modern gamers? God of War's story follows Kratos and his son Atreus as they go on a perilous journey to fulfill Kratos' late wife's last request. While the previous games had a fairly straightforward and linear story, the newest entry adds a lot of emotion and twists and turns. Kratos himself has matured as a character, evolving as a character that I personally despised in previous games to one I respected and cared about in this one. His son Atreus is also very well developed, and his growth throughout this game is very noticeable and believable. Together, they form a great duo whose relationship also grows and gets strained during the game. The change from the Greek to the Norse mythology is handled with perfection. The amount of lore that the beautifully imagined world gives you is more than enough to satisfy, and the characters that you meet are interesting to interact with, and also, honestly, dig deeper into to learn more about them. The game also takes a semi-open world approach. While some parts of the game are linear, the game gives you ample time to explore Midgard or some other realms in order to do some great side quests the game has to offer. While I feel the game has some pacing issues at the very start of the game, that failing dissipates very quickly and isn't nearly enough to hurt the fantastic story this game has to offer.
No. Finish what you started.
I can't.
The game's combat mostly revolves around Kratos' Leviathan axe. The axe has to be one of the most satisfying weapons I've ever used in a game. The way it cuts your enemies is amazing in itself, but the fact that you can throw it and recall it like Thor's hammer just adds to that satisfaction. The combat system is also more deep than I thought it would be. Defeating enemies grants you XP that you could spend to learn new moves and abilities. You can also find armor and special enchantments that can help Kratos become stronger in itself. Kratos also has another bar that he gradually builds up so he can release Spartan Rage. Spartan Rage grants Kratos greater strength and durability while also healing him upon hitting enemies. It doesn't last long, so it's not overpowered, but it does help out in a pickle. Atreus also helps Kratos in combat using his bow. You can command Atreus to attack enemies with special arrows as well as summons, and Atreus can also jump on enemies so that Kratos can get a free hit on them. It makes Atreus feel like someone who can pull their own weight as the game goes on. Puzzles also remain a key part of God of War's gameplay, and they are ones that require thought, but not too hard that it frustrates players. The most amazing part for me, though, is that despite changes to the gameplay formula, the game's biggest fights still feel monstrously epic, something that should be praised just as much as the combat is. It all amounts to a system that not only feels and works great, but truly feels like God of War. God of War stands as one of the most impressive technical feats of this generation. The graphics and lighting are spectacular, among the best ever seen. The sound design is also worth the praise, and the voice work is excellent, especially that of Christopher Judge and Sonny Soljic, who portray Kratos and Atreus respectively. The soundtrack is excellent, managing to fulfill a classic God of War sound mixed in with music that fits the Norse setting. Even the animation of character enemies or even water are among the best seen in a video game. Even with a game of this size and technical prowess, any type of loading was only experienced on one or two occasions, which is a rare feat in modern gaming. Everything here is impressive on all fronts. No bugs and glitches throughout my experience, and not one time did I not look at the world in amazement of its beauty.
Why'd you do that?
Come. No looking back now.
Not only did Santa Monica Studios succeed in reinventing God of War, but they succeeded in making a modern gaming masterpiece. Everything they put in this game is polished and excellent, making Kratos' recent journey among the best not only on the PS4 but in gaming history.
Hey, Hellwalkers! They're untouched. Look! Someone start the fires! Sigmund, your knives! So many days without meat.
Meat? Wait, us?
Behind me.
What if they change like the others? We'll have to keep them alive. Strip off their meat. A little at a time.
This fight is mine alone.